Welcome to the Nellans garden. I'm David Nellans, and I'm one of the board members for Hospice in the Calumet area, and I wanted to invite you over to my residence to see what I get involved with. And gardening is my passion, and we're going to take a look at a number of items, and we'll answer some questions and see what we have going on today. So I want to start off with this particular, this is a copper pot, and we set this up using the phrase that the garden clubs use, and that is you want to have thrillers that come up in height to set your pots, and then you have spillers that drape on the bottom to fill that area up, and then you have the fillers in through the middle. So you have thrillers, spillers, and fillers to create your pots and gardens to make things happen. We have the begonias here, and these begonias hang on the fence, and they are in what they call pouches, and that's set up that the plant pushes through from the inside, and then you hang these on your walls or fences or whatever you would like, and you set these up where you water them really daily, and I miracle grow them about every third week to get them to fill in, put on a lot of growth and a show. And these are annuals, so they'll just survive up until we get our killing frost. In this corner here, I have a collection of my pots in which we have the salvia, we have roses, we have the mandevillas, and kind of the crown jewel of my garden is I have the large dragon wing begonias with the king tut grasses. And this is something that I've replicated for a number of years because it does so well, it's so successful. And you have again the deadheading feature, self-deadheading on these begonias, and these tall stalks kind of wave in the wind, and this one's a little bit like fireworks when it matures and it pops out there. The other thing with pots is you can move them around as you do different activities. You can stage them, and it really adds a nice feature, and yet it's mobile. And then here we've got one of the roses getting ready to bloom, and I just put these roses in. I use them as accent plants. The feature plant again to give you that thriller. I wanted to add a fountain feature. My wife and I talked about this, and I went out looking. I had some criteria. I wanted it to be simple, not a lot of frills, and I wanted it to have a large capacity. This fountain holds about 40 gallons of water. It has the spilling, and then I have my unofficial collection of ducks in here, but which also works out well with the grandchildren. They can come here and play. It's safe. They're not going to get hurt on anything. And you've got this constant run of water, which is a nice calming feature. In developing this garden, it's really a passion that's evolved over the last 30 years. I had flowers along the edges, and I had grass in the middle, and I really decided that I liked the flowers better than the grass. So we moved to having this structure put in here with the stone and the blocks, and then we set this up as a dining area over here. We have a sitting area, conversation here, and then we put this wall up, and I have the secret garden beyond that calls you to come and take a look at it. In terms of the gardening, actually I've been gardening about 61 years, 62 years. My mother got me started with a hose watering her flowers, and I really enjoyed that, and I saw the rewards as you watered the plants. They bloomed and got better. So it was a very natural thing for me. In the back part of the garden, I have a potbelly stove, and you can put your wood in the top or in here, and you light this, and we sit around with the benches here, and I do get chestnuts in the winter, and we roast chestnuts here. You could do s'mores or hot dogs or whatever. It's just kind of a nice calming feature, especially on a cold night. You sit around the potbelly stove, and if there's a light snow falling, it really just kind of calms you down and you enjoy the evening. To point out that we bring our garden all the way out to the alley. We have a nice walking alley here, and there's folks that walk and children that ride their bikes, and we bring all the plants. We've got the smoke bush out here, the limelight hydrangea, a little bit of a flagstone wall, and that's set up with our garden here. And I had this fence custom built, has the ginkgo leaves in it. Wanted it to be open and yet containment for the children. And then I had these stone columns built. There's 4 columns here that hold the fence up, and they're actually built with solid rock, and they're on a 60-inch pier, so they're not going anywhere, and it really gives a nice, pleasant view to the garden. This is part of my extension of bringing the garden out to the alley where the walkers and the riders can enjoy it. We've got the oak leaf hydrangea here, we've got the sunflowers coming up, the limelight hydrangea, and then the cascading of the pumpkins. And we'll show you one of the pumpkins on the inside that's being grown off this vine. But again, it's peaceful, enjoyable walk, and I keep it trimmed so that it doesn't interfere with any of the cars and vehicles going through here. In our garden annex, we do have a vegetable garden, because a lot of people don't consider flowers necessarily a garden. They want to know about the vegetables, and we have here the green peppers and the banana peppers and cherry tomatoes, and they're all growing here in the sun. They've got a nice exposure to the sun, and it's fun for the grandchildren to come out here and pick the cherry tomatoes and enjoy just what's going on here. Thank you very much for coming and visiting the Nellans garden. I hope you had the opportunity to learn a little bit. I certainly always enjoy sharing, and maybe we can have some more segments talking about how to do some specific items with the garden.